So it's finally time. I have to admit, I'm super excited for this one. Out of all of the new fragrance launches that have been announced, not yet available yet, but have been announced, this one has been at the top of my list of just the one that I've been looking forward to the most personally. I'm a really big fan of the line. I have all of them and I enjoy all of them, each for different reasons. And of course, this is the newest one. This is Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privee. So everything from the bottle to the note breakdown to the name, it just looks really nice and I'm excited to dive into it. I'm going to give you my first impressions, tell you how it smells, what it reminds me of, and off the bat if I think it's going to be something worth checking out. So here's the bottle. I went for a 60 milliliter because that's the only one that was in stock. So that's kind of what we ended up with. This is my first smaller bottle size of a fragrance from this line, and I have to admit it does look really nice. Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privee, there it is in its flesh. I think it looks really sharp looking. I don't know how well you can see it, but I like it. I like it a lot. You can see the kind of whiskey color down here on the bottom, and then on the back the logo is color matched to that as well. Very sharp, looks great. This one's an Eau de Parfum, so they're sticking with that trend here, and I think we should just go ahead and get it on skin. Very exciting. Nice atomizers on these. Seems to be the exact same as my 100 milliliter bottles. Okay, now this is nice. Immediately, it's reminding me of the original EDP. So, you know, Givenchy Gentleman EDP. Because now they have an EDP Boisé. Not talking that one, talking Gentleman Eau de Parfum. It's giving me a strong reminder of that one. This one's got me so mind blown I can't even talk. I like this a lot. So this one is, notable for its whiskey note that is included in the note breakdown. First fragrance from the entire lineup to have some sort of boozy accord. And I am picking up on bits of that. Holy crap, this is actually really, really good. This is delicious. I'm getting a lot of the iris. It's a nice creamy iris. It's not like the iris in Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense, for example. It's more of the richer iris, like in Gentleman Eau de Parfum, like in DIOR Homme Intense, like in Valentino Uomo Intense, that type of iris, a sweeter iris. I'm also getting some of the chestnut. And that's another note that was really kind of piquing my interest for this one because I like the chestnut note. That one was made popular in Replica by the Fireplace, Armani Stronger With You, just to name a couple lines there where it uses that note. It just kind of gives off this warming, inviting, and nutty smell, which, you know, you may like that, you may not, right? For me, I think this is very, very impressive. Now, taking a look at the note breakdown here, we'll just run through it. We have bergamot up top, we have iris and chestnut in the mid, we have amber, whiskey, and woodsy notes in the base. So for me, more of a sandalwood coming through, mostly from the woods, that is. Not really much of a cedar wood, nice creamy sandalwood. I'm picking up on the amber quite heavily here as well. And that's kind of giving it this sticky sweetness kind of in the base of this one. The whiskey is not too bright or strong, so it's not a top note. As you can tell, it's listed in the base. It would almost be more of like a cognac or something, like a kind of a sweeter booziness, or like a rum maybe as well, is kind of how it's coming off. A lot of times whiskey, it's a top note, it's bright and alcoholic in that way. But again, for me, it's more kind of in the background, more of a heaviness, giving off more of a richness. There's also kind of a prominent chocolatey smell to me, like like a cacao or something like that. Even sometimes patchouli can kind of give off a chocolatey smell as well. There is no patchouli, there is no cacao, at least what they have listed off, but I'm picking up on that. It could be coming from maybe the chestnut and iris mixing together, or the chestnut and amber, I'm not sure. But I have to say, and I'm not trying to cause unnecessary hype, I really like this a lot. Seriously, it's bringing me back to Gentleman Eau de Parfum, but more rich, more chocolatey, a little bit more boozy as well. So I went ahead and grabbed a couple others off the shelf back here that I was kind of talking about. So let's go. Here's Gentleman Eau de Parfum. And see, when I smell this one off the atomizer, it's vanillic, It's creamy from the sandalwood. Of course, you get the iris. But when you smell Gentleman EDP, and now I smell Reserve Privee, it almost makes Gentleman EDP smell fresher, because I think this one is a little bit fresher, at least going off the dry down here. We'll go ahead and spray this one on my other hand anyway. Might as well. Try to let this one dry down a little bit. But, I mean, yeah, the EDP, it even opens up a bit more fresh to me, which I like. Always have been a big fan of this one, but now comparing them side by side, and I know this is the opening, but even smelling the dry down on the cap, Reserve Privee just comes across so much more rich. I've got to say, this is impressive stuff right here. I'm really enjoying it. Again, this is an Eau de Parfum concentration. I'm hoping that it does well. I really, really hope, because this type of smell is definitely deserving of strong performance, because I know a lot of people really prioritize performance. I do as well in some instances, especially for a wintertime scent. I want it to hold up to the cold weather. And so I hope it does, man. That whiskey top note does actually come through, even though it's listed as a base. When I sprayed it this second time around, I did pick up on kind of a bright whiskey top. But see, then it also gets kind of more chocolatey and smooth and sweet in the dry down. This is really, really impressive stuff. And again, it almost makes the EDP smell fresher. I do think Reserve Privee is taking it to that next level of being more rich and more strong. And by strong, I don't mean performance as of yet. That has to be tested, but I'm talking just in terms of the scent DNA. So here's Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisé, one that I also really enjoy. I mean, no comparison. It makes this one smell even fresher. And to be fair, Gentleman Boisé has always been on the fresher side compared to the EDP, the original EDP. You know, it's sandalwood heavy as well, but more focus on, like, I guess, woods in a way, you know, creamy sandalwood, less sweet and vanillic and iris base, but still I'm a big fan of this one. But when you smell all of these now and then smell the newest here, it kind of shows the depth. I mean, that amber chestnut chocolatey richness that this one gives off in addition with the iris is absolutely delicious. So we'll take a stroll through Fragrantica here and see what we've got going on. So far, and you know, I don't know how accurate this will be, but longevity rating is pretty good. We've got the majority of them being in the long-lasting section, which is nice. Again, I'm going to have to test it. So wow, there's already quite a few comparisons. So Gentleman Eau de Parfum is first, 48 to 8, and I do agree. Next up, Dior Homme Intense, 53 to 21, so a little bit less there. And like I said earlier, the type of iris component used in Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privee is getting a little bit out of hand. Type of iris used is similar to that of Dior Homme Intense, and it also does have a little bit of a chocolatey smell, but I do still think this one strays further away to, you know, from Dior Homme Intense even still, with the addition of that kind of whiskey note, that kind of booziness in the base. Valentino Uomo Intense, 17 to 14, same thing, you know. Dior Homme Parfum, so that one's interesting. Not really all that much, although I could kind of see where some people are coming from with that richness and that kind of boozy feel. You know, Dior Homme Parfum isn't boozy, it's kind of oud and rose with iris and all of that going on. But this one does have that creaminess and that heaviness like Dior Homme Parfum, so I can kind of see that a little bit. Bentley for Men Intense, I really don't think so. The original Valentino Uomo, same thing like we've talked about earlier. Actually, that one even further away. Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisé, I don't really think so. And look, now we get down to Replica by the Fireplace. So some other people are picking up on that chestnut note as well. And it is prominent, and it does smell great. So that's kind of where we're at. You guys know I'm kind of a tough critic on new stuff. I really am. You go look at a lot of my first impressions across the board, and it kind of starts out as, oh, that's okay. Some I don't like. There are a few every now and then, most notably Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever, that instantly I was like, okay, this is awesome. But for the most part, I try to stay as level-headed as possible as I can, and sometimes I judge things too hard. But, I mean, that shows something about this one, that this really brings something new to the table, and I really like it. I'm going to continue to test this one. Performance is looking good for other people online so far, so I'm hoping it does well for me. I've got it on my hand here. We'll see how it goes throughout the day. and I will definitely be following up with the full review in the future. Unfortunately, for us US customers, the timing of release, was a little bit unsatisfactory, being that we're already kind of getting out of the mood of winter fragrances a little bit, or at least getting ready to and moving into spring. I'll still wear this one throughout spring to test it. Our weather is always one end of the extreme to the other throughout springtime anyway, so maybe expect a review kind of, I don't know, in the beginning of spring or so, mid of spring. It's going to be a nice cooler weather scent, a nice sexy date night, special occasion evening out scent. This one has me really excited, and I hope some other new releases can follow a similar direction here in terms of putting out something that at least I really like. Very exciting. If you've tried this one, let me know what you think down below. I will also link this one along with the Gentleman Flankers down below as well, so you can check them out. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.